Hi everyone. The slot 2 of the MBA CET 2025 just got over at 4:30. We are just compiling the difficulty level from our students. Already students ने हमें बताया I think the paper slot. Just give us a few minutes to compile all the students' responses and give you the review. But meanwhile, in the chat, you can tell us how your paper went.
So a couple of initial reactions from students was LR, few quants question is what we had seen in first lot as well. Abstract again was very easy. Few hard puzzles, which is always the case in a lot of mocks as well. QA was, I think, easy to moderate. And I think this time VRC is sort of moderate, or you could say little bit on a difficult or a lengthier sort of paper. Again, I think this is similar to slot one, lengthy but easy to moderate. Yeah, what is your opinion, guys? Those who have given the paper. Again, paper was sectional only, not jumbled. We can expect sectional paper throughout all 6 slots. There won't be any difference. So sort of similar to what slot 1 was. I think this was the same reaction even for slot 1. LR was again on a moderate side. Right. So I think a couple of difficult puzzle sets, few quant questions. Okay. Basis this for students who are going to slot 3, 4, 5, 6. One thing that we need to keep in mind again is that round robin approach will work in your favor. If paper is easy to moderate, your first course of action should be to solve easy questions and then pick moderate.
Yeah, I think that is the advice. बहुत tricky questions, speed breakers, traps जिनको बोलते हैं, that has been seen in slot 1 and 2. If you fall for them, then under pressure, I think just be calm to avoid those traps. So puzzles are says any sets. You have to see the number of questions before you start solving because बहुत vary हो रहा है. One question, two questions, three questions. Could be anything. The size of the set in any set type question, RC, DI, puzzles, तुम्हें देखना ही पड़ेगा to see if it's worth solving. Secondly, again, as Shrikant said, easy questions को ढूंढ ढूंढ के निकालो पहले in the first 100 minutes, 120 minutes of the paper, solve each and every easy question. Don't attempt the moderate or difficult questions at all. Keep it for the end of the paper. So, अगर a lot of students take mocks in a sectional strategy, मतलब पहले LR, पहले quant, whatever it is. So LR को भी try to break into round robin, as Shrikant said. Easy questions in LR, then moderate questions in LR, then go to your next section. जैसे भी तुम्हारा sectional का attentive order and strategy, keep it the same, but in that you can do multiple rounds.
Yeah,
Similar for quant, similar for verbal as well, you can do.
there are a lot of singlets. Unlike slot one, there were logs also. Direction-based questions. Lengthy puzzles. Important to note the number of unknowns before solving the puzzles. So if the number of unknowns are, let's say, more than 24, then it is moderate to difficult level of set. Depends also on the number of variations that are there. So this is sort of an idea for LR. And again, a few quants question as I just mentioned. Or you could say rather mathematical reasoning questions rather than saying quants questions would be a better idea. Again, unlike slot one, there were around 1 to 2 critical reasoning questions as well. Again, abstract was doable, very easy. Suggestion is to go through PYQs. QA, easy to moderate. Not very difficult. And coming to verbal, number of RCs are more. Okay. No DI. No DI in QA. Geometry questions are there. So everyone who has skipped geometry, you should at least try to remember volume का theorem, area का formulas, volume का formulas, etc. Abstract में again counting वाले काफी सारे questions आए थे. And in these puzzles, ये lengthy puzzles भी है, but the set were of 3 questions and smaller. So smaller set with a huge data. Coming to verbal, there were 6 parajumbles. More than 4 RCs. I think this is sort of the idea and a lot of inference-based questions. Okay, so this is just an idea of an initial idea of how the papers are we're going as students are giving. Okay, again, I think the number of attempts, ideal attempt is around 150 to 160. So again, for everyone, don't focus on 180 attempt karna hai, 170 attempt karna hai necessarily. Depends upon the paper as well. So I think this year the paper are sort of doable, but then in the same time they are lengthy in terms of the sets they have divided. So नॉर्मली जो हम 5 सेट्स के क्वेश्चंस करते थे वो 5 की जगह पे 3 कर दिया है या 2 कर दिया है. तो इसके वजह से स्टूडेंट्स आर इन अ कंफ्यूजन कि 5 क्वेश्चन के लिए जब ये सेट करते थे तो 6 मिनट्स लगता था. तब ये 6 मिनट्स ही लगेंगे बट 5 क्वेश्चन की जगह पे आपको 3 या 2 क्वेश्चंस करना पड़ेगा. एंड हेंस क्वेश्चन सिलेक्शन इज इम्पोर्टेंट एंड ऑब्वियसली keep them for later, solve easiest first. So this is a general consensus of I think how the paper went.
ये अब काफी लोगों के क्वेश्चंस छूट रहे हैं बिकॉज इट्स लेंथी, तो वेरी क्रिटिकल क्वेश्चन सिलेक्शन.
I think even the RCs were lengthy. This has been similar in the morning slot as well. Okay, any idea about third slot? I think similar is what you can expect, something similar to this slot itself. Again, slot 3, expect that it can be lengthy. ठीक है, level of difficulty is not very very different. I think easy to moderate means a lot of students have tried to attempt the question, but then इतना बड़ा question होने की वजह से उसमें ज़्यादा marks नहीं आए. That's why they are feeling lengthy. And you also feel the threshold after attempting, like 6 मिनट में आप 5 सेट के पजल सॉल्व करने के अगर आपको आदत है, बट और ऐसे आप 3 पजल सॉल्व करते हो, so basically, you are giving around 20 minutes and solving around 50 questions. But in this case, what will happen is, अगर आप 6 minutes का कोई puzzle solve कर रहे हो, but तीन ही question है, या तीन ही question, तो what will happen is in 20 minutes, you will be only able to solve around 10 to 12 questions. So this difference is causing students to feel they're losing out time, or it is very very lengthy. But again, our suggestion for that is always watch the number of questions of each set before attempting it, and try to keep the easier questions for first and then attempt the moderate ones later. Suggestion for tomorrow is same. I mean, even if paper is difficult, अभी तो चलो सब लोग easy to moderate तो बोल रहे हैं. ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि पेपर और ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट भी आ जाए, बट इन आइदर ऑफ द केसेस what is going to happen is, if you are prepared for this examination, you will be solving the easier questions first. uh, Picking the easier questions would be something that is a challenge that you will have to see. Suggestion would be to obviously go through a couple of PYQs as we have mentioned earlier. Cutoff, I think, again, uh, depends, I don't know, but roughly around 130 plus 135 plus is sort of a score that students should be happy with for a 99 plus percentile score, I guess. But again, all of these will have no value as such, because depending upon the difficulty level and also on the attempt of the slot. ठीक है, स्लॉट में कितने लोगों ने दिया, कितने टॉपर्स ने दिया, किसने सबसे ज्यादा मार्क्स स्कोर किया, ये दोनों चीजों के ऊपर, स्टूडेंट्स के ऊपर और एग्जाम पेपर के डिफिकल्टी के हिसाब से ये जो स्कोर है ये नॉर्मलाइज हो जाएगा. तो जब नॉर्मलाइज हो जाएगा तो इट वुडेंट मैटर मच कि मतलब कितना स्कोर आना चाहिए था एक्सेट्रा. ठीक है. So this is something that we have got as a review from a lot of our students. Again, आप लोग अगर मॉक्स में, एज आई मेंशनड, 130s 150s के आसपास में अगर स्कोर करते हो कोई मॉक्स में, if the topper is around 130, uh, then that is a mock that is sort of similar to this. You could say it could be any mock, not taking any particular mock provider's name. It differs every year. Also, after PYQs comes, we can have a look at it and see कि कैसा level का था. But right now we have sort of a mixed reactions from students. Also, a lot of students are have been waiting to attempt this examination since last 1 year. तो एग्जामिनेशन डे के दिन भी काफी सरप्राइजेस आते हैं, काफी चेंज डिफरेंस इन ओपिनियन आता है. Different students have different opinions. So in general, we are trying to accumulate all the information that we have, and this is what the general consensus is what we feel.
Yeah, a lot of the mock toppers also found it difficult on giving questions to test.
Yeah. So
So probably at par with one of a difficult mock that you would take, and as Srikanth said, topper 130 to 135 के बीच में. Dep Depending on the first review, obviously, as we talk to students more, try to compare slot 1 and 2, तो हमें ज़्यादा
yeah.
समझ में आएगा. Um, but initial message से this is what we can understand.
Okay. So again, a lot of students have been asking कि previous year CAT ZAT के questions आए थे क्या? तो जो फर्स्ट स्लॉट था उसमें तो दो क्वेश्चंस डायरेक्टली थे कैट जैट के. बट जब कैट जैट लेवल क्वेश्चंस आते हैं तो हाउ टू टैकल दोस इज द क्वेश्चन दैट अ लॉट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स आर फेसिंग. कैट जैट लेवल क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं, या फिर आरसीज बहुत ही ज्यादा लेंदी आ रहे हैं, ठीक है, या फिर पजल्स बहुत ज्यादा लेंदी आ रहे हैं. ओके, दीज आर सर्टेन, व्हाट डू वी से, जस्ट अ मोमेंट, या, एंड पजल्स काफी लेंदी आ रहे हैं. what you should do about this is that do not attempt it earlier, do not attempt it in the first 1.5 hours at least. पहले 1.5 घंटे में इनको अटेम्प्ट ही मत करो. ये जो भी क्वेश्चंस है कैट जैट आरसी पजल्स के जो भी है, इनको फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट मत करो. देखो, अगर जितना हमारा एक्सपीरियंस है अबाउट सीटी, कैट जैट का अगर कोई क्वेश्चन है तो वो उसका अगर किसी को आंसर नहीं पता है, किसी ने प्रिपेयर नहीं किया है, तो ही विल नॉट अटेम्प्ट. इवन द टॉपर्स विल नॉट अटेम्प्ट इट. इवन इफ दे अटेम्प्ट, दे आर गोइंग टू लूज अ लॉट ऑफ मार्क्स. if RC is lengthy, we have already discussed this. If questions are, for example, puzzles दो टाइप के होते हैं. अगर 20 to 24 अननोन्स है, या less than 20 अननोन्स है, और 25 के ऊपर ज्यादा अननोन्स है, तो ये इजी पजल होता है, इसको करना होता है. ये इजी टू मीडियम पजल होता है, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द टाइम यू हैव टू सॉल्व. अगर 30 के आसपास कोई नंबर ऑफ अननोन्स है तो इसको करना ही नहीं है. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि 200 क्वेश्चंस में 200 हर किसी को करना था बिफोर गोइंग इनटू द एग्जामिनेशन. ऑब्वियसली पीपल आर अटेम्प्टिंग अराउंड 160 और 150. दैट मीन्स 50 क्वेश्चंस ऐसे है या 40 क्वेश्चंस ऐसे है जो सब लोग को ट्रैप क्वेश्चंस था और अटेम्प्ट नहीं करना चाहिए. तो these questions are nothing but these 30, 40, 50 questions which you should ideally not attempt. Obviously, if you are aiming for all India rank 1, then you don't have any excuse. You should attempt those questions. But even all India rank 1 would face difficulty in attempting these questions. Even he would solve the easiest questions first and then pick the difficult ones later. So in one line or two points, if I have to summarize it, pick easy questions first and pick difficult questions later. ठीक है.
Yeah, and obviously ये very sounds very simplistic, but this is where your practice, तुमने जितना practice किया होगा in the last 1 year, जो तुम्हारा intuition है, जो तुम्हारा basically इतने क्वेश्चन तुमने देखे हैं, तो उससे you will get an idea कि ये difficult है, easy है, just reading in 2 or 3 seconds, and then your judgment because of that practice will be really good कि ये question attempt करना छोड़ना है. As Shrikant said, there'll be 50 questions जो छोड़ना ही है. Now that 50 questions means there'll be almost 7 hard sets that you can leave. So 7 hard sets you can leave. वो set में अगर 3 to 4 questions भी है, that is 25 to 30 questions. So 7 hard sets, RC or DIO puzzle है, you can afford to leave. उसके अलावा there'll be one-liner questions that are hard. बाकी के 10. So 50 questions you have to leave, and uh, उधर ही दो चीज है कि you are not attempting them. Secondly, जब वो क्वेश्चन ऐसा कुछ टफ लगे, डोंट लेट इट अफेक्ट योर कॉन्फिडेंस. यू
Yeah,
हैव कॉन्फिडेंटली तुम्हें वो छोड़ना है कि हाँ दिस इज अ ट्रैप, आई एम वेरी स्मार्ट दैट आई एम लीविंग इट, एंड देन यू solve the easier questions. So just take care of these two things in the next 4 slots. Don't let it affect your confidence कि ये तो टफ क्वेश्चन आ गया, मैं क्या करूंगा.
yeah,
क्या करना है वो छोड़ना ही है. ऑल इंडिया रैंक 1 भी छोड़ेगा वो, ही और शी विल टेक इट एट द एंड. एंड ऑल इंडिया 1 और मतलब ऑल इंडिया 10 में द डिफरेंस विल बी लास्ट में. वो टफ क्वेश्चंस में से अगर 50 क्वेश्चंस है तो जो फर्स्ट रैंकर होगा वो 20 करेगा, सेकंड रैंकर होगा वो 15 करेगा, वो ही होगा. बट वो सब के सब विल बी सॉल्विंग इट एट द एंड.
yeah. आई थिंक क्वेश्चन जो जैट और कैट के वो कैसे समझेगा डिपेंड्स अपॉन द टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल कुछ क्वेश्चंस थे जो परम्यूटेशंस कॉम्बिनेशंस वाले एलआर सेट थे, तो ये रीड करते ही आप अगर सिर्फ पजल रीड करोगे और उसके क्वेश्चंस रीड करोगे, आपको तभी समझ में आ जाएगा कि इसमें कितना कैलकुलेशन इंटेंसिव है. अगर बहुत ज्यादा कैलकुलेशन इंटेंसिव है देन इट इज सॉर्ट ऑफ अ कैट लेवल क्वेश्चन. ऑब्वियसली जिन्होंने देखा है कैट के प्रीवियस स्लॉट्स वो बता पाएंगे कि वो कैट लेवल है या नहीं, बट जिन्होंने नहीं देखा है वो ऑब्वियसली बता नहीं पाएंगे बिकॉज उन्होंने नहीं देखा है. एंड ऑल्सो वन सजेशन इज कैट लेवल क्वेश्चन आ रहा है, इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि अभी आपको जाके प्रीवियस ईयर के कैट क्वेश्चंस रट्टा मारना चालू कर देना है. आइडियली अगर वैसा क्वेश्चन आपके स्लॉट में आता है तो आपको वो छोड़ना है, वो सॉल्व नहीं करना है, बिकॉज इट इज अ ट्रैप जहाँ पे आप टाइम वेस्ट कर सकते हो. एंड टाइम इज योर मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एसेट इन सीईटी एग्जामिनेशन, सो यू कैन नॉट don't tweak your strategy just one day before examination. Start looking at all cats that questions. That is not a suggestion that we are giving. If it is coming, you should leave it, is what the suggestion we would give. Even if we were attempting the paper, that would be our ideal strategy. If RCs are really really lengthy, you should look at the questions. If they are fact based questions और उसका आपको पैराग्राफ में दिख रहा है, 3 पैराग्राफ है फॉर एग्जांपल, उसमें आपको कोई एक पैराग्राफ में अगर उसका इन्फॉर्मेशन दिख रहा है एंड फैक्ट बेस्ड है तो आप अटेम्प्ट करो. बट इन्फरेंस बेस्ड क्वेश्चन आप तभी अटेम्प्ट कर पाओगे जब पूरा आरसी रीड करोगे. सो हाउ टू टैकल ओवर हियर इज यू हैव टू असेस इफ यू शुड अटेम्प्ट इट और नॉट. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल अगर 900 वर्ड्स का आरसी है और सिर्फ 2 क्वेश्चन है, तो you should not attempt it because there is no ROI, right? If there were some easier questions, कोई दूसरे स्लॉट में दूसरे सेक्शन में आसान क्वेश्चंस है तो वो पहले कर लो rather than this. And once you push all these lengthy questions in the end, जब वो एंड में इकट्ठा हो जाएगा तब आप उसमें देखना कि कौन सा आपको इजी लग रहा है अटेम्प्ट करने के लिए, फिर उससे आप स्टार्ट करो. बिकॉज इवन लेंदी क्वेश्चंस आप अटेम्प्ट भी करोगे, वो अगर मॉडरेट टू डिफिकल्ट लेवल निकला तो आप टाइम वेस्ट भी करोगे और आपको मार्क्स भी नहीं आने वाला.
Yeah. And another thing in RCs is एक educated without reading the passage भी मार सकते हो. तो in RC especially, I would not recommend to blind guess. If you read the question, at least 1 or 2 options you will be able to eliminate just logically. कि वो basically even if it's like some inference question कि author क्या कहना चाह रहा है whatever, 2 options you will be able to eliminate. And उसके बाकी 3 में you can go for a blind guess, that is okay. But just eliminate some options in like 10 seconds, 20 seconds without reading the RC. So that is also something you can do.
Yeah, I think so. This is it, sort of for review for slot 2. Obviously, we will be having a deeper review later. Uh, we will also be giving slot 4 and slot 6 So after we have an understanding of how the exams are, we will be also releasing some idea about how the slots were. And sooner or later, the question attempt answer key will also be released, I hope, this year, like they did last year. And if that is the case, then everyone will know how the slot went. So as of now, for slot 3, 4, 5, and 6, you just have to not worry too much about a difference in opinions from a lot of students, because फर्स्ट टाइम एक साल बाद एग्जामिनेशन हो रहा है तो everyone has different expectations and everyone will have a different opinion about it. Some students who have prepared a lot will have a different opinion. Some students who might have not prepared that much will have a different opinion. Some people are giving the examination for the first time have a different opinion. So ultimately, what matters is the paper is going to be similar to any one of the mocks that you have given. So, and in all of the crux of the CET examination is that you will have to maximize your score by trying to attempt the easier questions first and then keeping the difficult questions for the end. That is how you should go. As such, there were not a lot of surprises that generally occurs in CET examination. The only surprises were that certain questions were very lengthy, but they had only two uh, questions in them. But that is something similar to what slot 4 was last year. So if you had watched PYQs, if you had gone through all 5 slots of PYQs, I don't think there were a lot of surprises basis last year. So I think that is it. Any ending words, Adi, you want to share?
Yeah, I think just be calm, guys. Lengthy काफी आ रहा है. CET has always been lengthy. तुम्हें again नहीं करना है पूरा पेपर सॉल्व. पॉसिबल ही नहीं है पेपर पूरा सॉल्व करना. 200 questions, 200 minutes. It's not 150 minutes. It's not easy to solve. It's not possible to solve the paper rather. Um, in our attempts also, हमने जब crack किया था JB उसके बाद whenever we've taken the exam, we've never solved the entire paper. That is not what you're supposed to do. Question selection is key. I think really, really important. If the paper was very easy, so fair, you just have to solve one question after the other. But this year, question selection is going to matter the most. So just keep that in mind. Slot 3, 4, 5, 6 people.
Yeah.
We'll be coming back with a detailed analysis. We'll be going live after slot 3, 4, and 5, 6. And again, if anyone from slot 4 is watching, Vidhan and I will be at St. Francis Borivali. If you want to meet us before the paper, after the paper, you can. Shreekanth is in slot 6 in Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj University,
Yeah. Near Karjat.
near Karjat. So feel free to meet Srikanth, connect with him, talk to him again before the paper, after the paper. We would love to meet you guys.
Yeah.
And जिसका
Well,
पेपर हो गया है, I think another just don't worry too much. अभी पेपर हो गया, you put in effort, relax करो. We are there to help you guys through the next few days. MBA college admissions, क्या करना है next sir. Already students are messaging, sir, what to do next. पेपर अच्छा नहीं गया है, whatever it is. Don't worry, time है. We will figure it out. We'll guide you for these things.
yeah. Thank you so much for joining in, guys. We'll see you again tomorrow after slot